is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of The Function. I hope everyone is doing really well. Happy Monday to everyone. And to everyone who had yesterday on their minds with 9/11, bless you guys. I hope you're able to find some comfort or just reflect on it and just be thankful that you're alive today. If you've been affected by the tragedy, prayers to you and the family. And obviously that's something you just don't get over. So my condolences to you. Now, we are on our Finance Tuesdays. The main focus, again, of the channel is to equip men with the right tools. So we're just going to be talking about finances today because, again, as men, we're called to produce. That's our main function in society. Whether we like it or not, that's who we are. We're called to bring in something and put food on the table, and we can try to run from it. We can try to hide. We can try to live below our potential. It's never going to go away because that's just how we operate. We want to produce. We want to provide. We just function that way, right? So we're going to be going over part 3 of the Sacred Account. Now, before I get into the third part of the series, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share this. And drop a comment in the comment section. Just let me know what you think, and I would gladly appreciate that. So the past 2 weeks, the first part we were talking about just the foundations of what is a sacred account. And then part 2, we did an illustration between putting money in the whole life insurance dividend paying policy, because that's what the sacred account is. And then we compared it to a bank and how the bank only gives you 0.10% every year on your money. And when you put it in life insurance, it's not only going to grow, but when you borrow, the money keeps growing, right? So we talked about that. Now in tonight's episode, we're going to talk about the importance of overfunding your policy. Now, I did talk about when you set up a whole life insurance dividend paying policy that you're going to have automatic savings going on. You can do it monthly, you can do it quarterly, you can do it annually. However you have it set up, you're going to have your savings automated. So let's just say, for instance, you're putting in $250. The premium's $50 a month. So $200 is going towards the cash value. So that adds up to $2,400, I believe. I think I did the math right. Yeah, $2,400 a year. Now, that's all great, but when you're trying to get out of debt, when you're trying to build enough capital so you can go out and borrow for private lending deals, gold, life settlements. I'm not going to touch on those things tonight. Those are just investments you can actually get involved with. We're just going to focus on the sacred account. I'm just giving examples of what you can do with that money once you have enough capital stored. You want to put more into it because you already know it's going to earn 3 to 5% annually. You know that your money, whether you borrow it or just let it sit there and grow, it's going to get better and better each year, right? Now, why would I want to put more money in a life insurance policy? Well, the more I save, right, the faster I'm going to get to my goals. My goal is $50,000 to borrow. The reason why I want to get to 50 is because, one, I want to have enough capital to go out and make my first investment. 2, I've got some debt left I need to take care of, so it's going to take more than $50,000 to start my first deal. And 3, I just want to be solvent. I want to have enough in reserves that if, God forbid, anything happens, I have an emergency that takes place in my life, I'm still solvent, right? That's why we want to save. So let's just talk about the benefits of why you want to fund your policy more. Let's just start there. 1, it's safe for you. So let's say worst case scenario, you're putting more money in the policy. And let's just say you can't make a payment 1 month. Well, you can actually take money from your policy and pay the premium while you try to get yourself together. Let's just say you can't, pay anything else towards the policy right now. Well, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to cancel it. That's it. It's not going to put anything on your credit. None of that. It's just no more coverage, right? That's like the worst thing. And yes, you'll get a cash surrender. They pay a percentage because remember, I showed you in the policy they gave a cash surrender value. So whatever's in that, that's the money you'll get. So that's worst case scenario. But at the end of the day, little risk and it's safe. Second thing is liquidity or control. You now have control of where you want your money to go. You can either keep saving, you can borrow at any moment. You don't have to wait till you're 59 and a half years old to borrow. You don't have to wait at a certain time in your life of how you should use your money or when you should use your money. You get to use it right there and then. I would like that option because I don't want to be restricted or someone else tell me, hey, you need to wait. You need to borrow this much amount. This is only how much you can take out. Right? I don't like that idea. I want the money to grow. I want myself to be in a position where I can utilize something and maximize its potential. So liquidity is so important. I would say the third thing is taxes. It grows tax-free. You don't have to worry about the government checking into your account because they understand when someone has life insurance, they're going to get a death benefit out of it, which means the quality of life for that family is going to be in a good place. Tax-free. I don't have to report that to the IRS. And it just keeps getting better and better. So why wouldn't I fund more money into this policy? Fourth thing is, it's protected. Like, you're not going to have to worry about the stock market. You don't have to worry about, crypto doing something. It's protected. Your money is protected. It's like, think of it like a vault in a bank. And then when you put money in, it's secure, it's safe, no one can touch it. You got your security guards, you got, alarm systems in place. That's how it is when you overfund a life insurance policy. You are protecting your future costs. The last thing is you're fighting against inflation. I saw a stat the other day, and actually let me just pull it up. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you so I can show you what I saw the other day. Because I found this to be pretty surprising. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. So let's look at the average inflation costs. Average inflation. This might blow your mind. You see that? 3.8% per year. During this period, from 1960 to 1921, the average inflation rate was 3.8% per year. If I know my dollar is losing its value because prices are going to keep going up over 3% a year, then I need to make sure that dollar I have is going somewhere that's safe and protected and it grows and it fights against inflation. That's what life insurance is for. Now, again, it's not an investment, but it's to keep things safe. Now, let's go back one more, and let's just do simple math here. Again, let's just say you're putting $200 per month into your policy, times 12. Okay, you got $2,400. Let's multiply that by 5. All right, you're at $12,000. Now, let's say you decide, you know what? 200 is good, but I want to go to $750 per month into my policy. Actually, let's do 800. Let's do 800 times 12. 9,600 a year. Let's do times 5 again. 48,000. You're looking at 48,000 versus, let's go back to multiplying this, 2,400 times 12. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Whoops. 2,400 times 5. $12,000. So, sure, you can do the modest way of saving and, just go about it in a way where you're putting $200 to the side. But if you can sacrifice an extra $600, you're actually going to get there faster. A lot faster. There's a verse, and I'm going to pull it up for you. And whether this aligns with your faith, my faith's in God, but I'm going to show you a verse that really struck with me, and it's in Genesis. So let me just grab that verse. I believe it's in 44. Let me just get my notes out so I can show you. 41, actually. As you can see, my references isn't always there right away in my brain, but let's go ahead and look at Genesis 41:49. Again, I just want you to get the practical side of this. So look, check this out. So it says here, and again, whether you're a Christian or not, it says here, Joseph stored up grain in great abundance like the sand of the sea. And it says here, could not be measured. If you don't know any background about this story, Joseph had interpreted dreams. He interpreted to Pharaoh and said, if we don't start storing grain now, we're gonna be ill prepared for the famine to come. So 7 years later, famine came, but he saved a lot of family because he stored a lot of grain. And it says there he stored up so much of the grain that he had enough where it was like the sand of the seas. Think of the sand on the sea. How much sand is on there? That's how much it was saving, right? So you want to think about overfunding your policy the same way. You want to get to a point where you can save 40% of your monthly income, right? You don't want to be tied to taxes, and you don't want to be tied to debts or anything that's going to stop you from achieving financial freedom, because that's the goal here. We want to be financially free. So instead of buying that fancy car, that fancy watch, or getting a massive payment on a new computer or a new phone, maybe take that money and store it. Save it. Because that example I just gave you, putting $800 a month away, you're going to have almost $50,000 in 5 years. And I didn't even calculate any dividends on it. I didn't even add that. So if you can look at the policy from that perspective and realize your money's protected, it's going to fight against inflation, you're going to have control of your money, and it's going to be safe, it's a no-brainer. So I would encourage you, really think about where you are storing your money. Think about saving more. Don't save the bare minimum. Go above and beyond. Are there sacrifices that will have to be made? Yes. That's life, though. But if you can make the sacrifices now, and you can look down the road and say it might take me 5 to 10 years, but there is a goal and a light at the end of that tunnel, you will thank yourself for the sacrifices when you get there. And you know what happens when you have more capital? You have more options. You have more time. You can't take time back. Time is always going forward, right? So if I want to be in more control of time, I got to have resources, aka money. Because money is our system, right? It's what pays our bills. It's what puts food on the table. It's what creates activities where you want to go do something with a friend. All of it revolves around currency. There's an exchange going on all the time. So when you're looking at this and you're thinking about getting set up, or you are in a policy, put more in. Know your MEC limit, because remember, there is a MEC limit before you could have taxes. Now, you avoid taxes by not overfunded to a point where you go past the amount of money you can put in the policy each year. So look at that. If it's $15,000, $20,000, know those numbers and just start overfunding. Because it's at the end of the year, you're going to be like, man, I have so much available. Man, I have so much capital. Man, my money's really growing. It just gets better and better each year. And you feel more solvent. You don't want to be insolvent with money. You want to be solvent. So I hope this helps you out. I hope this really challenges you, gets you thinking about, life insurance and why you should overfund it instead of just doing the bare minimum. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me, and I will catch you on the next one.